Yo, what it do, 2K fans? It's your boy JuKIng the Boss, and I'm back at it again with the blueprint for NBA 2K19's Neighborhood version 2. Now, I understand there's some growing concerns that the 2K community is jumping over to Fortnite, but that more so has to do with people. They are enjoying Fortnite, but it more so has something to do with the fact that YouTube's algorithm is changing and forever changing, and so they're trying to get more viewers into their channel. Now, I don't play Fortnite, so I'm not taking that route because, quite frankly, I can't play Fortnite more than 5 or 10 minutes, and there's not enough there to create anything for me. Now, when it comes down to it, I really do believe that 2K18 introduced a beautiful neighborhood, but it was like a brand new car with no engine. You know, it looks good on the outside. You sit down and you feel real comfortable. The second you try to start it up, you realize it's not starting. You go to check the engine and you find out it doesn't have one. You know, so where is it that 2K can go forward from here to make the neighborhood the place to be? You needed to connect. You needed to connect to your audience, and you needed to connect right. So I plan on going over all those things and just stick with it. We're going to have some fun with this one. All right, so the first focus point is on the practice facility and training facility. Now, to me, they did a really good job with it this year around, but you also know that it became obsolete and repetitive after a while, especially once you got the 92. You already unlocked the turbo automatically for once you get to 92, and then once you got all your badges, there was no reason to go to the practice facility, even no matter how many times your agent or your coach will call you and say, hey, we ain't seen you down here in a while. But let's talk about how they can improve though. So first of all, the practice facility. The practice facility should allow you to work on hot spots and shooting consistency. It's very simple. To do this, all they got to do is add a drill that says shooting challenge, in which a player must shoot 52 pointers and 53 pointers. Or to change it up, they got to shoot 25 open twos, 25 contested twos, 25 open threes, 25 contested threes. And based on your consistency there, that automatically translates to unlocking your hot spots. And speaking of that, maybe they should allow you to enable seeing your hot and cold spots on the floor. So that way, when you're working on those things, you can kind of see where you need to work. If you're doing the shooting challenge, well, I want to work on my cold spots. I want to work on my hot spots. I want to make them hotter. I want to make them colder. And I said make them colder. Yeah, I want to make my hot spots cold. That's what I want to do, to shoot even pour from that deep. So it's a way to work it out to a point where the player has a reason to go to the practice facility. A player has a reason to continue to go to the gym and work out and put that work in. And another thing is that just add some of those advanced analytics on the court, so that way I can see how many times I pull, what kind of shots I pull. So like if I'm hitting hot from here, am I hitting hot, turnaround jumpers? Am I hitting hot post fades? Like they just literally say, oh, you taking 35 shots here when you go in the menu, but it don't tell you what kind of shots here you taking. So maybe you taking post fade shots. These little things make a player play better, because at the end of the day, the greatest players got better at shooting because they went to the gym and they worked on their shooting from areas. Like they saw that I don't hit so good from this side of the court. I don't hit from this good from this far out. So I want to work on getting better at that. So let's put that focus on the practice facility and make that worth something. Now, the training facility. The first thing that needs to go is working out for turbo. Like, I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna tell you how the workouts should be able to do. First, let a person just buy that turbo boost, because at the end of the day, the turbo actually hurts you more than it helps you. And what I mean by that is, it's essentially like hitting the NOS in a race right out the starting gate. Like you're gonna see that NOS activate, but you're not gonna see your car going no more than 60 miles an hour or 45 miles an hour, because the gears still have to shift. So at the end of the day, turbo works best like if you're doing a quick jog and then cut to the basket and then hit that turbo, you get that burst of speed. And so I think that it just needs to go. Let it be bought like all other boosts and everything like that, because that's all it is. The training equipment should be used to increase skills. So the sprint and treadmill should be allowed to increase your acceleration and your speed. Once again, the box jump should be there for your vertical, and the various weightlifting machines should be used to increase your strength. Things like the ladder, the hurdles, and the reaction, that Gatorade reaction joint, should be going toward lateral consistency and reaction time. And what I mean by this is, by doing little things like this, first of all, you create more dynamic players. And Also, this the last little piece about it. If you got people coming back by doing these things, even if let's say that I do the box jump and everything like that, and you don't give me extra towards my vertical, give me that +3 boost that we used to have back in 2K14, 2K13, no 2K12 before VC started being so aggressive, where you could get a +3 based on some gear that you're wearing. So you got people going back to that training facility for a reason. And I kid you not, that right there automatically engages your community to coming back to those practice areas, not just going to games and cheesing to get their levels up or to get their hot spots. They got so many other ways that they can do it and so many other ways that they can be engaged while doing it and earning so much. You rewarding your community for putting in work, putting in effort in the game. All right, so real quick, this is kind of like a pet peeve of mine. Let's talk about that big screen. How many times did you see that VCA? It literally showed up in between every upcoming event on the screen. Instead of a full rotation and then seeing the ad, you got bombarded by it in between everything they want you to see. And so here's the thing about it. Doing things like that, you're not going to look at the whole rotation because you quite frankly don't want to keep seeing the same ad over and over and over. So what would happen if you were watching a basketball game and literally saw a commercial in between every possession? Now, unlike football, a basketball possession can last 20 seconds, 40 seconds, 15 seconds, or 6 seconds. You know, you got teams that'll come down and pull up real quick, get the basket. How many times do you want to watch a game and see commercials just happen after every possession? You don't. You're going to tune out after a couple of possessions, like, oh, nah, I'm good. I'm just going to watch me a movie. You know what I'm saying? Watch 400 times already because it's going to be better than watching this game and the infinite barrage of commercials. But, you know, at the end of the day, you see that at the end of the game, but you don't want to see that throughout the whole game. Now, ways that they can make that big screen a little more appealing, especially if they're going to have it everywhere in the neighborhood, is simple. Add some tournaments to the event calendar, add some special challenges to the event calendar, add some reasons for people to actually look. People only see it because it's everywhere, but give them a reason to pay attention to it. Now, don't advertise my team. You know, at the end of the day, if I can't go to my court, if I can't go to my house and buy my team pack and everything like that, if I got to leave out of the game mode that I chose to play to actually engage in what you put on the screen, then you're doing it wrong. So maybe throw in a top 10 leaderboard for, you know, park squads, team pro-am, and maybe even a list of hot free agents for team pro-am. This would engage people to check out the rest of the event calendar and also the other things that are going on in the community. Like, give people a reason to want to see what you're bringing us. Also, bring back leaderboards, you know, and those advanced statistics that we saw in the 2K League Combine. You know, skill is about seeing what you're good at and where you need to improve, you know. And at the end of the day, for players to kind of get better, to players to want to play more, to players to want to have more fun, you need to give them a reason to check those things out. Okay. Another big area that needs to occur for change is the points of entry, and that's the spawn points. Okay, so for example, GTA allows you to set your default spawn to either your apartment, your garage, random, or your last location. 2K19 need to have something similar to that, which I mean, it's fun running around the park every now and then. It's fun running around the neighborhood, but after a while it gets tedious. So what they need to do is allow me to use those bus stops as my spawn points. Okay, because if you see, there's a bus stop by the training facility in Gatorade that allows you to access the subway, allows you to access your house, the agent, and it also allows you to access the training facility. At the same time, there's also a bus stop by the team pro-am, which is actually maybe a little shorter run to your agent, depending on which way you feel like going. But at the same time, it also gives you access to the street where you can start to buy things and haircuts and things like that. Or maybe you want to go to the bus stop down there by Walk-On Pro-Am, which is in between the park. It's in between your local park and in between the Walk-On. And at the same time, you got your boost right there. And then you can get to the haircut center a little quicker. So if you want to change your cut up, you can get there a little bit quicker, because running around the park is so tedious at times that it's kind of like how long it takes you to load into GTA sometimes. If you're not really trying to play GTA, like if you're not like, oh, I need to get my GTA fixed, then once you take 20 minutes to load in, it's like, you know, I'm good now. I'm gonna go play something else that loads up in 30 seconds. So, you know, it's easy to kind of just allow the player to choose which one of those spawn points they wanna make their default. Just because, and even if you don't allow me to choose one to make my default, allow me to go to the bus stop that I spawn in front of at the beginning and say, okay, well, I want to go to Team Pro-Am, and it'll pop me in front of Team Pro-Am, or I want to go to Walk-On Pro-Am, and it'll pop me in front of there, just so that way I have a better reason and a better way to kind of get around and navigate a lot better, a lot quicker to get to the things that I want when I want them. All right, so now we're going to discuss this 2K Zone. This 2K Zone is very quick and to the point when it comes down to how they need to redesign it. I've always believed that it should have a better user experience, and it's a cool little addition, but here's what needs to go down. Daily Pick'em needs to be on your phone. So like, just like how you can access the trivia questions on your phone once you get in there, that's how the Daily Pick'em needs to be. But instead, you got these 2-4 stanchions that just stand right in front of you, and that gotta go. Now, also what needs to go is the JBL sales guy. Like, he needs to be outside somewhere and things like that, not in that 2K Zone. He kind of wastes space. So I like that little ticker banner that shows up top, because it tells you what's going on in the NBA for real, and even some news and things like that of NBA teams outreach, and that's pretty cool. I don't mind that being there because that's awesome. It does go back to the NBA fan and things like that. Blacktop and mini basketball, those need to go. Just like in general, just go. Just disappear, delete them. Just get that out of there. Because quite frankly, there's no reward for any of that. There's no reason to play any of that. It's a waste of time to do any of that. Instead, you need that, also that DJ booth. Get rid of that too. Get rid of that. Because at the end of the day, nobody cares about that DJ booth. There's no way I can't go in there and do some real good dance moves, okay? And ain't nobody putting no good beats in that joint. So quite frankly, that needs to go. But what they need to do is make the 2K Zone the gateway for matchmaking, park tournaments, team registrations, and team finders, okay? And I don't mean for Team Pro-Am. Team Pro-Am, you can go in there and make that your gateway to all things Team Pro-Am. But when it comes down to finding players to play with in general, so even if you're looking for somebody to play with for Team Pro-Am, you could find them in there, but essentially make this the gateway for matchmaking, park tournament registrations. And when I say matchmaking, I mean, let's say for instance, I want to get a park game going right now and things like that. Then me and my boys are walking to the 2K Zone and matchmake, bang, just like that. And it'll find us 3 compatible players to play against, and hopefully it's a decent matchmaking system where we can find similarly ranked players or similarly skilled players, and just kind of like, you know, get better playing it, and give me that option. You know, give me those little things that make the game extremely big and everlasting, because you can add so much with so little over time. Like, you can just sit up here and say, you know how you see these Mountain Dew tournaments showing up randomly every now and then? Hey, you know, they got a new park tournament. And I mean real park tournament. I'm talking about elimination style park tournament. You know, 8 teams go in, 1 team come out, you know, the champ kind of thing. Like, do little things like that. You automatically gonna have people coming back every single day, and especially if they're tuned in and they're following the 2K news, it's like, oh, they got a new park tournament coming up this weekend. I'm trying to get in. You know, we need to be available, bro. Y'all try and rock. Let's do this. Now, the last thing that they could do, the biggest thing that they could do, is overhaul the subway system. Now, the subway could unlock a world of possibilities and unlimited potential when it comes down to executing it properly. Let's say you enter the subway and you get a map that pops up, and that map has 6 different locations based on the 6 divisions of the NBA, and each one of them have a different theme park. You know, how cool will that be, knowing that you can go to the Northwest Division and have a park that resembles Irving Park in Portland, Oregon? Or you go to the Pacific Division and you got a park that reminds you of Venice Beach. All right. Or how about you go to the Southwest Division, you got a set of courts that resemble Haley Park in Tennessee. Then you got the Central Division that could have a park that reminds you of Jackson Park in Chicago. You got the Southeast Division that could give you parks that are based off of Margaret Pace Park in Florida, or even the Atlantic Division, which has a ton of iconic parks that you can base it off of. Or if you want to change it up, you know, you can go with the Christie Pitts Park in Toronto, you know, just to give a little notoriety and show a little love up there. at the end of the day, because first of all, it is a growing community up there of basketball fans and basketball players. And so when it comes down to it, by opening people's eyes and giving them similarity looks, like you don't have to recreate these iconic parks, make a little bit of an adjustment, a little bit of a change, but just to make a person feel like, oh, that's based off of this park up here. That's based off a park down the street from my spot. I likes that. I likes that, because to me, that was one of the things that kind of drew me toward the live, knowing that they recreated some iconic parks and everything like that. And I was like, wow, that's actually awesome. That's actually interesting. They bring a little love to these known parks. And for the newcomers in the community that don't know about all the iconic parks, gives them a reason to go and look that stuff up. So I thought that would be a good addition, a great addition to giving you a 6-park kind of feel. And then at the same time, when you open that map and you choose a park, then allow the person to kind of choose a server, so they can see at least what the ping number is for the connection to that server. You can see the server loads. You can see which parks got some work in it, instead of loading into a park that has 2 people in there and they looking for 4 more people so that we can get a game of 3v3 going. So like my thing is that having that little bit of a change makes the subway well worth the work. And the thing about it is that there are other little issues that they can do with the subway that add a little feel, like maybe night parks and things like that. Like how cool will it be to go to one of these parks and play under the street lights? That'd be awesome. Be a great little thing. You'll give reasons. And I'm not saying like a person chooses to go to the night version of the park or the day version of the park. Instead, you got just like a minor day-night cycle within the game that allows people to go to a park and it be daytime, allow people to go to a park and it be nighttime. Now that'd be asking for so much. I know that, but quite frankly, what you need to do for the 2K community to jump back on board, because it's not to say that the 2K community is just gonna walk away after 2K18. But it is to say that if 2K19 continues to build on the downsides of 2K18, then what's going to happen is that they're going to suffer from the same fate of NBA Live 06. NBA Live 05 was like, everybody said that 06 was the last good live, but really it was 04 the last good one, because it was the last optimized gameplay. 05 added some new elements into it, but they weren't optimized, and so 05 was a buggy mess. And then 06 did not improve and create a better outcome from 05. They just added more features on that were unoptimized. And at that time, 2K was continuing on that same path of getting better and getting better, optimizing their game, making better gameplay decisions, making better game mechanic decisions. And that's why they took over. So I don't want to see that occur with 2K. I do want to see Live get back up to the point of what they once were, to make 2K stay on track of continuing to increase the product and increase the gameplay overall. You know, these, just like I said, these are just 6 issues that I really feel, you know, all around. Well, it's 5 issues that I feel will affect the neighborhood, but it's 6 total things that I feel they could use to improve the standing, understanding the community, and then fixing each of these places, each of these depots that you want the players to go to and you want them to interact with. You don't want them to just go say ooh and ah. You want them to go and say, oh yeah, I need to get this in real quick so that way I can have this boost right here, or I can have this +3 right here, or let me go right here so I can work on this. Now, we're going to talk about, in another video, we're going to talk about overhauling the entire character creation system and how to improve that. But for this one, I just kind of wanted to go on the neighborhood. I've talked to y'all about how to improve Pro-Am. I talked to y'all about how to improve Park. I've talked to y'all about how to improve the gameplay. We still got a few things that need to be worked on and a few steps that we took back that need to be changed so we can take those steps forward. All right, guys, I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Don't forget to turn on notifications so that we can catch all the videos as soon as they drop. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.